Welcome to Wisner, Nebraska, and Thunder by the River. It's the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Let's get it started with diesel 4x4 trucks. This is Buck Hindman out of Keene, Texas.
Long ways away from home, one of the top runners, the top runner in the state of Texas. Going to show these northern boys how they pull down south. Straight, true, and the motor working. I bet he takes it, and I bet we're underway. 3:03 and 49, spinning and grinning.
Hard to turn down a pull that goes 303 feet. Look at this. Pretty straight, true, right down the center.
Hey, we ain't going to throw rocks at that pull, that's for a fact. The diesel pickup class is the fastest growing pulling class in the United States.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
Welcome to the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series from Wisner, Nebraska. It's Thunder by the River. Hello, everyone. I'm Claude Wood along with Dave Bennett and Rick Carlson, and we'll be bringing you all the exciting diesel 4x4, Pro Stock semis, and the Super Farm class. Right now, let's deal with diesel 4x4s. This is Dylan Lemka out of Adams, Nebraska. Calls his truck Lights Out.
I love the name Lights Out, as that when this black smoke flies, and we are pulling at night here in Wisner, Nebraska, and it is pretty much does turn the lights out. Scooted over to that right side, a good smooth pull. Hey, it looks to me like he's going to do really good. New leader at 3:04 and 83. Now, Claude, I want to bring something up right here. You look at this front weight bracket. These boys actually put ice, so it kind of cool the diesel down. You notice that little off color in his front bracket right there. That is a compartment that has got ice in it that's cooling the air down.
Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
Dylan, totally different track tonight.
Yeah, they let us run out a little bit more. A lot of good trucks. It's going to be hard to keep in first tonight.
Well, we'll see. Here comes Skylar Leeper, bringing his Dodge Legal Limits.
Well, as the man said, they're letting them get up and run. The sled's set just a tick loose, which is just fine. These guys like to boogie. You get out there at 300-some foot, you can show your horsepower. Oh, digging in. Picked him a different spot on the track. Skylar doing really good enough to take the lead by 20-some odd feet. He goes 3:25 and 18.
This is another case off of the starting line. You want to feather it coming off?
Yes, you do. Just no different than a heavyweight Pro Stock tractor. You got to slide that clutch. In fact, you've seen him turn loose the clutch just a little too fast on the start, but hey, he made it up on the end.
Skylar, enough to take over a lead.
Yeah, we had a really good pass. Got past Dylan. Been chasing him in points, so hopefully we're about even now in points, so made a real good pass.
And that will bring up Chris Barton in his 2003 Chevy Duramax. Chris is your 2014 and 15 Outlaw Points champion.
Yeah, you just heard Skylar make mention about how tight this points race is. They've been kind of beaten up on this Chevrolet this year. Boys are working all over that track. You notice that Chris moved over a little farther to that left side. They're using this whole track trying to find a sweeter, better spot. He goes the distance at 314.
All right, let's look at this. Is there any difference in track condition night versus daytime?
Oh, there is, as far as being able to hold the moisture in. The boys at Wisner, Nebraska always build a fantastic track, and these pickups are showing how good it is.
Brett Falk coming up to pull down, the white gloves in the air. He's signaling to the flagman that it is now safe for workers to be around the pickup.
One of the safety factors, you'll find the sport of tractor pulling and truck pulling is the safest motorized sport in the world. Oh, this boy's digging in. That motor never wanted to give up. That motor never wanted to give up, but he gets a distance of 290.42.
A little bit short, the mark to beat 325.18. Now that will bring up Vanessa Hindman, calling the truck Uncommon.
Well, the other member of the Hindman family started this show off. Now the ladies got to try to get back into the lead. Ain't nothing fancy about this run. Just let the horsepower work. The lady out of Keene, Texas, the Uncommon, goes 3:09 and 18. That'll be up in the numbers.
And Dave, with any diesel vehicle, that smoke coming out of the exhaust, you want all the pressure you can get. Very important to get that going quickly.
Oh, you bet. The straighter that plume and the farther that plume goes in the air, that's the more horsepower you're putting in that motor.
On the leaderboard, Dodge well represented. The Chevy, 5th place, but Chris Barton is your past points champion. When we come back, it'll be Nathan Brittyman paying dues. The Chevrolets will give Dodge a run for their money. Stay with us.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series is being brought to you by BP Racing, Macon Power. Extreme Performance and Tire Cutting, a cut above the rest. Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener. And the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association, Thunder in the Dirt.
A great crowd on hand tonight for Thunder by the River from Wisner, Nebraska, part of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Diesel 4x4s continues with Nathan Brittyman. His truck is called Payin' Dues.
Oh, we've got a great class of diesel pickups here in Wisner this year. A full class, a lot of color, different brands, a lot of power. Now, he was talking smoke just a moment ago. You noticed his smoke went away, and you heard that motor change a little bit. That smoke didn't stay black. It didn't stay good. Have a distance of 272 and 90.
Yeah, that's where it showed up. It's bow tie time now. Driving a Chevy, here is Ryan Stahl.
The Chevrolet people will be behind this one. A man out of Claremont, Missouri. Spooled Up is the name. Oh, that motor's working. He tried to stay up there. That motor was trying hard. He just could not quite hold that high RPM. He goes 294.75.
Yeah, just couldn't get dug in there at the last. Here's Jason Goodi out of Holden, Missouri. His truck is Disposable Pleasure.
Jason works with the Outlaws promoters. Everybody got a good running truck. Proud to have him as an outlaw traveling with us. Never did find out why the name Disposable Pleasure. But here again, watch that smoke. There was a fire coming out of the stack. He was hurting a little bit on ponies, but he's down there at 297.93.
And that will bring up Jesse Hardison in his 2007 Chevy Duramax. Jesse was 3rd place in 2013 points.
Chevrolet machine, different sound. That motor's just got a totally different sound to it. Got good smoke. Got tire speed, don't really know, just maybe it's just the way the exhaust sounds on it, but he gets a distance of 289 and 53.
Final results, Skylar Leeper is your winner, but the points championship chase just tightened up with Dylan Limka moving into 3rd place. Pro Stock Semis, love to watch these guys pull. This is Colton Saylor out of Oak Park, Minnesota, Freight Shaker.
Minnesota boys coming into Nebraska to show us what kind of power they got. One big turbo, 18,000 pounds. Get in a big truck, take the big load down the road. Looking back behind him, kind of checking where he went. We're going to let these boys run a little bit. Yeah, get them up and go. 356 and 70.
Let's watch him from the takeoff right here. Same thing. You feather into the throttle a little bit, white smoke, and then it turns to black.
That's for a fact. You heard him sputter a little bit. You kind of seen him double clutch it just a bit before he kind of got it to level out. Go down to the pit area, down to Rick Carlson, find out what the big rig driver says.
Colton, you got a lead, but sounds and looks expensive.
Yeah, I think I hurt the engine there. It felt real good until the end there, and it just didn't sound quite right, so.
That's not supposed to have all that smoke.
No, just out the pipe usually, and it's supposed to be black, and it wasn't.
Well, that'll bring up Doug Ortwich from Pilger, Nebraska. Doug has some other responsibilities, too, other than pulling.
You talk about a man that's got his plate loaded. This guy's the president of the Wisner Truck and Tractor Pull Committee. A big show like this, and he kind of works with a lot of different groups to get it set up. And then get the Blue Pete ready to go down the road. Oh, he just You got a good horn. Maybe you ought to drop the gear, though. 338.07.
Doug Ortwick looked like a pretty good pull.
Yeah, it felt good. We just got the motor rebuilt, so everything's together and it'll be good. Yep.
It stayed together, the important thing.
That's right. We drove it off, but yeah, so on a new motor, we just take it easy the first pass.
Holy smokes, here comes Lonny Saylor, and that's what he calls his truck, Holy Smokes. He's out of Oak Park, Minnesota.
Well, you don't come from Minnesota down to Wisner to take last place pulling a wheel stand. He's got his weight back at the back, pulling a wheel stand on 18,000 pounds. Grabbing second gear, the flagman says, whoa, dude, don't take the sled to the pit area. Stop it somewhere. 5:01 at 99. The crowd loves that.
Well, Dave, I can understand close, but this dude was over 200 feet further than everybody else. How did he pull that off?
Horsepower, ground speed, having everything right. He wasn't saving this motor. You heard interviews where the guys had a brand new motor. This guy come for the kill. And the crowd knows it.
Just the way you diagrammed it.
I just wanted to pull a straight string tonight.
And you did almost all the way to us.
Wonderful. Yeah, I was a little nervous. I don't know, once in a while you get out in that fresh dirt that hasn't been traveled too much, it can get squirrely. I just wanted to thread the needle between the concrete barriers. We did it. That felt good.
When we come back, it's the Super Farm class, and up to pull will be Brett Roberts on Spanky's Toy. Welcome back to Thunder by the River from Wisner, Nebraska. It's the Super Farm class. Brett Roberts is part of a father, daughter, son team, and you're looking at a good-looking New Holland T8050.
Brett being the son of the trio driving family, does a great job. And you can't argue with that run right there. He just kind of played it simple, stayed in the center of the track, laid it down a great pass. 3:11 and 95 is going to be the distance he comes up with.
Well, Dave, we've watched this class for a long time, and it's immediately noticeable that there's only one New Holland in this class.
New Hollands are coming on, but to get the horsepower out of the New Holland engine, it takes a lot of work, and the Roberts family has worked really hard at it.
Well, that will bring up Rodney Jedlica. He's out of Schuler, Nebraska. Feedlot Special is the name of his tractor.
That Super Farm class, they all burn the same fuel. The VP Racing fuel, they all run the same turbo, which is a precision turbo. They all weigh the same. Who can put the power to the ground? And you heard him use every little bitty bit of power he had as we got a leader at 3:17 and 91.
And Dave, in this class, we're going to see a lot of different configurations on the weight in the front of the tractor.
Yeah, he's got a full rack up there. You see a couple of little bitty ones. It's everybody's decision on their own tractor as to how many weights to put on the nose.
Here comes the Ultimate Muscle. This is Rick Engelmeyer out of Beamer, Nebraska. And when he's not pulling, Rick is a farmer.
They do a lot of corn, a family affair. Had to get that visor up so you could see. This nighttime pulling kind of puts moisture on the visors. Didn't have the big wheel speed. You see the rear tires bouncing a little bit, but still does pretty good at 3:15 and 21, moves him into second place.
And that will bring up Clayton Schmidt on the Cornhusker Cadillac. He's a student, also a farmer. 13 top 3 finishes with 2 wins on the 2015 Outlaw Summer Tour.
For a fact, and you see no sparks coming out of the bottom end of the tractor right there. Not to be concerned. That just means he's doing a good job of sliding the clutch, not blowing the tires off of the line.
Well, I like his name on this tractor. He calls it a Cornhusker Cadillac. Boy, it is sleek and neat looking.
Hey, we better tell everybody that's a neat enough run that he just took the lead with a pull of 3:21 and 40. I was just interested in watching how good of a pass this man made with that John Deere.
And that will bring up Barry Spans out of Hudson, South Dakota. Barry doesn't pull a whole lot with the Outlaws, but He's going to try to teach him a thing or two today, he hopes.
You bet. He is one of the top runners up in South Dakota. Getting over on that right side. Oh, look out. One-wheeled it. Oh. Jiminy Christmas. Bad deal. He's going to get a distance of 2:47 and 12, and he does get to keep that distance. But let's watch this on the replay. A lot of things take place. Number one, keep an eye on that left tire. He's going to one-wheel it. Then it's going to go to bouncing. Then the hitch comes out. The hook does not come unhooked. Everybody thinks it does, but the hook can't because there's a device to keep it from doing that. He's safe. We're running.
A couple of double troubles, and son of a gun, he came unleashed. Unforgiven. This is Jim Nabuda out of West Point, Nebraska.
Well, after you follow a pull where the puller had an accident, you kind of get your mind off what you need to do. And Jim's got to gather it back up. Oh, I'd say he done really good. There ain't no bobble. There ain't no run around. There ain't no fancy stuff. That is just true, hard, super farm pulling. 3:26 and 77. He takes the lead with the Unforgiven.
And a lot of times, Dave, you know, we use the words textbook pull. Well, I think you could pretty much sum it up right here.
For a fact, you've seen the spark come off where he's sliding the clutch. You don't see the tires bulging. You see the motor digging in. And you see the new leader right now.
Let it ride. Love those graphics. This is Dave Asmus. And you'll notice on this tractor, Dave has plumbed the turbo a little bit differently.
Yeah, it's just a decision of the pullers themselves as to where they want to plumb it out as an ease. As long as they're running a precision turbo, they can bring that exhaust straight up anywhere. And he burns it in, goes into number 3 spot at 320 feet, .52.
A very good pull, and you can see from the start, places the sled right in the center of the track, wheels up a little bit. That's okay, as long as when you come back down, you want to go as straight as you possibly can.
Yeah, you don't want those tires cocked when it comes back down. That gets in a bad spot.
That'll bring up Chad Weizenkamp. 11 wins and 17 top 3 finishes on his way to the 2014 Outlaw Points Championship.
There's a lot of great drivers in this class because you've got to concentrate on that clutch movement, on how you're coming off the line, and Chad Weizenkamp is one of the great ones at it as he goes 3:24 and 67, goes into second place right now with the brand new Someday.
Looking at the Super Farm leaderboard, your top 5 all within about 80 miles of home. Jim Nabuda is your leader so far, but stay with us. There's much more to come. The Bruley Buck will be charging in, driven by Chad Andrews.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series is being brought to you by Precision Turbo, the world's foremost manufacturer of high-performance aftermarket turbochargers. Sap Brothers, welcome, be our guest. Graham Tire, your tire store next door. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Thunder by the River from Wisner, Nebraska, the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Great crowd on hand. Here is Chad Andrews, the Bruley Buck. Chad is a corn and soybean farmer, 4th place in the 2000 Outlaw Points Chase.
Helps his dad on the family farm out of Beersford, South Dakota. We talked about Bruley being the name of the creek that runs through the farm. Dad has really taught this boy how to set in and do a great job. He goes 3:16 and 30.
And that will bring up Dad. He was runner-up in 2014. This is the Dakota Deer.
Alan Andrews has been on top of the pile so many times. This is a guy that you just never cut any slack because he will take the slack out of you. Dakota Deer bouncing way too much. He knows he's in trouble when he goes to bouncing like that. He knows he's in trouble. I get a distance of 3:17 and 75.
Well, Dave, the pull looked pretty smooth except when he got down to a little bit more than halfway.
Yeah, he come off the line very aggressive, and that's kind of what started it. It just started amplifying. You see that first bounce at the 75 foot or maybe 100 foot, but it just amplified and hurt him.
That will bring up Norm Cavan, your 2015 Outlaw Points champion, Magnum Force.
Here is a guy that's got the experience He and his son work on the motors. They farm half of Nebraska almost. Very big and busy family. They help a lot of pullers out in building the horsepower for the tractors. And that was a nice, smooth run. Hey, 328.98, we have another new leader.
Yeah, he had it cocked, loaded, and ready to fire.
Rode the clutch out. You could tell when he released the clutch, front end went up, but the tractor had enough horsepower and tire speed that it leveled out and just pulled that 40,000-pound sled down the track.
Turbo up. This is Tommy Platty. Occupation, 16-year-old 10th grade student.
I bet he does a straight A in the class of tractor pulling is what I bet. The Platty family, you got a brother that pulls, dad pulls. In fact, dad's losing his seat because this kind of used to be dad's tractor. Out of Hubbard, Iowa. Hey, he waited till the flagman throwed the flag. Great job, 318.71.
And so far, Dave, that was about the smoothest pull I think we've seen yet.
Let's take a ride along, see how smooth it is. And I'd say you're pretty right. You don't see no bouncing, jumping up and down. I might have liked to have seen the front tires come off the ground a little quicker, but hey, young man is learning.
Here's Steve Cavan. This is Norm's son. Steve is your 2013 and 14 Western Farm Show runner-up.
Steve is the mastermind behind the horsepower in the Super Farm class. Boy, he was aggressive on the clutch. You seen that tractor jerk, the tires grab. Boy's got to be so careful on that clutch on the starting line. And he's going to burn it in at 320 feet, .48.
Super Farm final results. The many years of experience really pays off for Norm Cavan. He is your winner. Son Steve down in 6th place.
Congratulations, Norm.
Oh, it's been a good weekend. We haven't been out much this year, kind of taking it off for the kids. It's about the 5th time we've been out, but 2 firsts at Wisner. I love it.
Well, it was a fantastic show today. It was all smoke, whether he was blowing smoke out of the pickups, blowing smoke out of the tractors, or either blowing smoke out of the semis. It don't get no better than what you had today. Heavyweight pulling at Wisner, Nebraska.
Yeah, we had a little bit of everything today. That'll put a wrap on it for Rick Carlson and Dave Bennett, Claude Wood. So long, everyone.